carbs are the villains, rice, bread, pasta, absolute no-nos are making you fat. But here's the thing, not eating carbs actually makes you fatter. Let's have a look at what really happens and some myths that will make you question everything. Let's start with insulin, the hormone that everyone blames. The narrative is you eat carbs, they spark your insulin, insulin then stores fat, and therefore carbs make you fat. But here's the thing, insulin is almost like an Uber. It's like an Uber, a ferry, a bus, a car, a tram, whatever you want to call it. It essentially shuttles nutrients into cells. And then the thing is, if you have a calorie surplus, meaning you eat more than you use or you burn, that's when the fat stores. And so technically, yes, you can have a big bowl of pasta and your insulin will spike. But the thing is, if you've consumed the number of calories that don't make you go into a surplus, meaning you consume enough or under your caloric requirement, you actually won't gain weight. And therefore, carbs don't make you fat. And here's the other thing that no one ever tells you. So carbs actually help you preserve muscle mass when you're trying to lose weight, which is super important. So how do carbs work as a buffer? The way that fat loss works, I'm sure you all know by now because I've said it so many times, you cannot spot reduce fat. So when you're in a calorie deficit or you exercise, you burn weight. Weight can include fat and it can also include muscle mass. And so when you eat the required amount of carbs, as in you eat the amount that your body actually needs and you're not, deficient in carbs, your body focuses on burning carbs as opposed to muscle or protein, which is required for muscle. A good way to think about this is like carbs are the cheap fuel and muscles your expensive fuel. If your body uses up all the cheap fuel and it has enough, it won't touch the expensive stuff. However, there's a catch, as with everything. Some carbs actually can make you gain weight overnight, but there's no need to panic. Let's have a look at why. When you eat carbs, your body converts it into fuel, which is glucose, and excess glucose is stored as glycogen. Now, this glycogen can be stored in your muscle or in your liver, and for every gram of glycogen you have, it pulls around 3 to 4 grams of water. So when you eat carbs and you're like, oh, I feel a bit sluggish, a bit gross, it's not fat. It's actually just your body storing fuel and hydration, not fat. But here's the thing, making sure you time your carbs correctly can actually help you prevent cravings and hunger. Let's have a look at how you can do that. Just like with everything, timing is important. And same applies for carbs. Carbs are not just fuel, they're a smart fuel. You can really use it to optimize how your body reacts. So for example, eating it in the morning or before a workout allows you to reduce your cravings later in the day. So for example, you have like bodybuilders and athletes. They have a high carb breakfast and then also a high carb lunch. And then as a result of having a satisfied energy intake from carbs, like fuel, your body doesn't require as much when it comes to dinner or when it comes to snack time, which as a result reduces these cravings. And a Western diet really hypes up, a massive dinner, but the reality is dinner should not be your biggest meal of the day. It should be usually your lunchtime or once again, depends on your schedule. But this isn't just magic. Like athletes don't do this for no reason. It's a strategy. And if you still don't believe me about carbs, here's what the research says. So there's 2 main populations that come to mind. The first one is the Japanese Okinawa diet in particular. This diet is renowned for, or rather the population is known for having one of the longest longevities on the planet and also just being overall healthy. However, their diet consists 69% of carbs. So they usually look at sweet potato, whole grains, none of that Twinkies or meat pie crap. Like it's whole foods. And they have one of the longest living populations on the planet. And the second one is Mediterranean diet. So I think this one's a bit more popular. They have a lot of veggies, a lot of beans, a lot of fibrous substances, which usually are carbs. And they also have one of the healthiest populations on the planet as well. And so these two groups of people, one of the main common factors are complex and healthy carbs. On a side note, which is also really important, I've been seeing a lot on social media about US fake foods, where I've seen like bread that doesn't really bend, that just like bends like rubber, or fruit that twists in weird ways that fruit should not. These 2 diets are listed above the Okinawa and the Mediterranean. They focus on whole, fresh, and mostly organic types of food, so none of that really preserved store-bought stuff. So the key takeaway here is that carbs are not your enemy. It depends on the context, depends on the environment and depends on the quality of the carbs that you're consuming. How do you eat carbs correctly then? So these are some of the key strategies I always tell my clients. First one is prioritize complex carbs. So think beans, brown rice, quinoa, vegetables, things like that. None of that biscuits or cakes or processed stuff. The next one is pair carbs with protein and fats. This improves satiety, meaning you don't overeat, and as a result, you're not going to be more tempted by the unhealthy carbs. Another one is timing. So like I mentioned before, morning, before workouts, and do not skip breakfast. I know some people say it's this whole fake scare campaign created by the breakfast industry or the bacon industry or something back in like the 1900s, but no, breakfast is important. It's fuel. It's what keeps you going throughout the day and sets your tone. It's like morning affirmations even. If people are into that kind of stuff, you start your day strong and it continues on. And the last one is don't skip carbs. Just embrace them, have a healthy relationship with them, because having a healthy relationship with food is essentially the crux of having a healthy life, because food is what fuels you, the nutrients. And so try to form a healthy relationship with the things you're eating. So there you have it. Carbs are not villains, they're just misunderstood. Try to use them as fuel, do not fear them, as it's really important to not cut out entire food groups, considering carbs are an entire macro. Go for complex, go for whole foods, and yeah. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe, and wishing you all happy digestive systems. Until the next one.